Have you ever felt like the world, or even society, has failed you? Maybe you've been let down by your parents, the education system, or even your job. It's like there's this invisible force that's constantly working against you, right? But what if I told you that this feeling of disappointment isn't always because society failed you, but because you failed society? Now, before you take offense or think I'm pointing fingers, let me explain what I mean. We all grow up with certain expectations. Parents tell us to get good grades, go to college, get a decent job, and life will magically fall into place. Society as a whole has this template laid out, and if you don't fit into it perfectly, it's easy to feel like something went wrong. But the truth is, a lot of people who've made significant changes in their lives, people like Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, and Albert Einstein, didn't follow society's expectations. In fact, they were failures in the traditional sense at some point in their lives. But what they did do was recognize that they were different from the rest of society, and that was actually their strength. Think about it. When your parents expect you to follow a certain path and you don't meet those expectations, the disappointment can be overwhelming. Maybe you didn't get into the college they wanted, or you're not climbing the corporate ladder as fast as they hoped. But here's the reality check. Your life isn't a carbon copy of theirs, and it shouldn't be. Your path may be different, and that's okay. The problem comes when you let those expectations become chains that keep you stuck. You blame them for setting impossible standards, but in reality, you're failing to see that your journey is unique, and that's not a bad thing. Take the education system, for example. We're all expected to sit in the same classroom, follow the same rules, and come out on the other side with the same skill set. But not everyone fits into this mold. Remember how we've always heard about geniuses like Einstein struggling in school? The system didn't suit him, but instead of letting that failure define him, he used his unique way of thinking to change the world. We're often quick to blame the education system for failing us. But have you ever stopped to think that maybe we're the ones failing by expecting the system to fit every single person? What if your true strengths lie outside those traditional boundaries? And what about work? So many people feel trapped in jobs they hate, thinking, this isn't what I signed up for. Maybe you were told that if you just found a stable job and worked hard, you'd be happy. But in today's world, things are changing fast. The gig economy, remote work, and entrepreneurship are all ways people are breaking out of the traditional 9-to-5 mold. Elon Musk didn't settle for a typical career path. He saw gaps in the industries he was interested in and used them to shape his vision of the future. He didn't wait for society to hand him an opportunity. He created it. And that's what we need to realize. If you feel trapped, it's not because society put you there. It's because you haven't stepped outside of the box to create your own opportunities. It's the same with social media, friendships, and pop culture. We're bombarded with ideas of what success looks like, how we should behave, and what our lives should be. But here's the thing, none of those expectations have to define you. Yes, social media makes you think everyone else is living their best life while you're struggling, but it's all a facade. And just because your friends are doing one thing doesn't mean that's the path for you. In the end, it's up to you to take control of your own narrative. You have the power to decide who you want to be and how you want to live your life. But that can't happen if you're always blaming society for not giving you a roadmap. I get it though. It's much easier to blame outside forces. But blaming society is like building a cage for yourself. You give away your control and you limit your potential. The moment you stop blaming the world and start taking accountability for your own actions is the moment things begin to change. You'll stop feeling like you're different in a bad way and start realizing that being different is what makes you powerful. And look, I'm not saying it's easy. It's incredibly hard to step out of the comfort zone, especially when everything around you feels like it's designed to keep you there. But growth doesn't happen when you're comfortable. It happens when you take risks, embrace failures, and learn from them. You're going to mess up along the way, that's a given. But instead of seeing those failures as signs that society has failed you, see them as lessons. Every failure is just feedback telling you what doesn't work, and that gets you one step closer to figuring out what does. When you stop blaming society and start focusing on your own growth, something incredible happens. You gain control. You stop worrying about what other people think or what they expect from you, and you start defining success on your own terms. What does success mean for you? Is it financial wealth? Is it having a fulfilling career or a balanced life? Whatever it is, once you take responsibility for getting there, it becomes achievable. Ultimately, the world may not have failed you. Maybe you've been failing to recognize that you are meant to create your own path, not follow the one that society laid out. And that's a good thing. You're not like everyone else, and you don't have to be. The moment you start taking responsibility for your own life, you realize that the power to change your future is, and always has been, in your hands.